You're looking at 900 horsepower. Warm it up before we go out.
Carburetor rebuild time. Going to be working on the Honda. Got a nice service manual here. Book Chapter 5, Fuel and Exhaust. We're going to work on taking apart the carburetors. Okay, kind of resetting. This butterfly, as you can see, is there's an unusual shape to it. It's not supposed to be bent. But we can do something about that. So before I start disassembling the butterflies, I'm going to lay out the parts and do a quick reset. So here's your bowl. You got your float. You got your pin that goes into the float. Okay. You have your seat where the needle runs. Tip goes down because it stops the gas flow in this top right here. And this will ride right there. So those go there. We have our jets that we took out. We have our baffle. See, kind of. See how you can't go the other way? Doesn't fit, right? We have the top of the needle jets. So more or less they kind of ride like that. Same thing with this one. We'll ride about like that. We have our other jet. Oh, we have our locking screw and nut that will hold down this assembly. Float bowl drain plug. 4 screws. Oh, forgot to mention the cap, because it will sit on top of that once it's all assembled. As far as the top part goes, this and this will ride inside this carrier, followed by the locking spring, pushed down by the spring, which will all go inside this assembly, followed by the hat and the 4 smaller screws. And then this will go on the side. Note, there's provisions for both sides, but see, that one's all dirty. Nothing's been in here. This one's all nice and clean. This is supposed to go like that. So just take careful note, because these castings are for multiple models. Doesn't mean every single port was used. So let's clean this area up real quick. Even though I'm not going to reuse these, I will clean them. So let's look at this component. Okay, we have a little screw here, and what it does is it kind of moves this open and close movement. Small screw, little bracket. Now this butterfly will move nice and free. But I got an issue with that. So we're just going to disassemble all these. Want to make sure your tips, because Japanese Phillips heads are completely different than American. They have a little bit more tighter position, so make sure you get a good fit, because you do not want to strip these out. And it's not that they're in there tight, but the wrong screwdriver, or the wrong Phillips head, will definitely ruin your day. So they're kind of knurled at the back. And this should just flop out. You have this trap door. It's a one-way coming in. Let's see how the metal is deformed. And I would say we're twisted and bent. Now this just come right out. They're a tight fit, but it kind of has brass housings on both sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this, because these screws are small, so I'll put them back in. See how it has a notch, so there's really only one way this will go. So now this is all nice and clean. We can see down the bore. So we don't have to, but I'm going to. Oh, I forgot the idle jet. Let's fix that real quick. Oh, silly me. Ooh, that guy's tough. Wow, that looks clean. That's a first. So, okay, what's the proper name for it? So if we look in the book, we took out number 9. So number 9 is called idle speed screw, idle mix screw. Nope, sorry. Number 9, idle mix screw. Idle speed screw is this. And more or less, you just set your height. Go ahead and pull that off. And the spring is just on here just to hold tension. So notice one thing, even though I got this removed, this will only go down so far because the blades are actually hitting in the port, and that's normal. Before we get that far, let's go ahead and pull this nut off. Let's see, it's a 7/16. So it's a nut, a lock washer, and this does have tension on it because of the spring that's held on this mount. So I'll work this up slowly. See how I got the release? And this spring is kind of held on right there. So I've just been cleaning them like that. So inside here you got to pay attention how it comes apart. So now it moves, there's no tension. So let's pull those screws out. We're here. Let's do a full rebuild. Okay, you want to note all the details, so it'll be hard to see on the camera, but there's a mark and it says 35. That goes on the bottom, so we'll note that when we go to reassemble. One screw. Here's the other screw. So we'll open it up, and then this is like a wafer. And we pull it out. See the number right there? That goes down. So now we have it coming out. So there'll be plastic washer. It's all behind an E-clip. There'll be another one behind it. See it right there? And this is tight coming out. So see here, we have provisions for the screws to go in. It's chamfered here and not here. So we'll put it back the way we found it. Nice long slot. There we go. Okay. And see, I put this over here so it can't fall off, so I know its orientation. Come to the other side. They're all clean, so there's nothing missing. This is a completely disassembled unit. So now we're going to give it a bath. So I had the ultrasonic cleaner already sitting up preheating. I'm going to put most of the parts in here. So all these little guys can just go in here. And I may have to do multiple batches. Okay, that takes care of all my small pieces. So I'm going to be careful with these. I'll just lay them down in the basket. What I usually do is I'll do it like this so it submerges the float bowl. Forgot about that one. Okay, and I'll gently set the spring in there. So we got our baskets full of parts. We're up to temperature. We'll do multiple cycles of 30 minutes.
Hey, this is Ken, CR Nuts Motorsports. Just wanted to take a quick second to remind you to like and subscribe. It costs you nothing, means the world of difference to us. And if you have a friend who might be interested in the video, please share it. So thank you very much, and let's get on with the show.
So here's everything after the cleaner, all laid back out. Still got a little in here. What I've been doing is I will take a little bit of PB Blaster or something, and it just has enough bite in there, kind of loosens it gently. Prop that up. So it just kind of sits in there. Okay. These are all getting replaced. Here's all the screws laid out, larger screws, so you can see the size difference. Large on bottom, small on top. Kind of lay everything back out. This is brass, so I'll polish it up. So we can see it floats. And if we shake it, we don't hear anything. I'll show everybody one thing about this. You can hear there's water in this bowl, which means this isn't holding a seal. So I'll kind of show on the camera here in a minute on that one, because when it floats in the water, it sits like this. So we're going to exchange this for another part that we got. We won't use the factory rebuild. We have 2 other extra sets of carbs, so I'll pull a bowl out of there because I already know they're good because I've already cleaned them up. Remember, what we found was this has water in it. So we have an extra set of carbs. So now we have a donor part. But what I can do is I can take some water. If you float this one in there, it's nice and level. Float this one in here, it's a little crooked. This one could be straightened out. Okay, but we're going to take the extra carbs and clean them. And on here, it's nothing too crazy. Everything looks good. Maybe just a little light scrubbing. And I got some nice brushes. Get a little carb cleaner and just kind of work them. I'm going to come in the bores, just look at them real quick, but so far this should be good. Oh, the one thing is you want to remember this plastic ring. Make sure that's in there. Per other people on YouTube, and I believe them, if that's gone, this thing will be very grumpy. A little dirt down in there, it's hard to see. So we'll get a scrub brush and kind of do this up, but more or less though. This is a working component. You can kind of see the difference of where we came to where this one's got to go. It's getting late. So we'll let that sit overnight, kind of do its thing. We'll come back and scrub it up. We'll lay out these parts tomorrow and do a little trading. Alright, checking in. We got the parts washed. So they've been sitting in a solution using grease eater solution and water, a couple parts, and what I like to do is rinse them off in a clean bucket of water so we can see how everything turned out. It's almost looking brand new. All the little parts are still in there. So not too much has changed, but they are cleaner and oil free. Inside the bowl turned out pretty good. Definitely see through the passage a little bit better. So this is what the body looks like. All the orifices in here. So what we need to do now is blow through all these circuits that come in here. So this circuit, as you can see, is a vein. It goes down here, has a check, and comes through where one of the jets sit in. The one we had to screw out. On the other side, you can see the two veins follow up through the carb and through here. We got to make sure those are free and clear. The other ones are not that side, the side with threads where the needle was at. And that should blow freely through some of these orifices that are in the carb. And then we'll make sure this one blows through here. And then we have these two nozzles that flow through up top here. So we'll kind of blow those out. This is brass, so what we can do is we can kind of scrub this up with a little SOS pad. So hang on, we'll check all this stuff out in a second and blow out the passages. It's hard to see, but what I'm going to do is right through here, blow through, it should come out through here, here, blow through, come out here. This one should come out this end, here should come through here. These two will come out through here and vice versa. So we'll start easy. Here to here. High protection.